Hello, my name is Mandy. I am with Scott Leroy Marketing, and today's class is DocuSign 101. So that's a signature platform. It's a place where you go to access your forms, fill them out, and send them to your contacts for signatures or to have them fill them out as well. And so I'm going to walk you through a lot of the basics with DocuSign today. This is kind of like a part two to our opportunities and sales pipeline class. So if you have not checked that out yet, that class, again, the name is Opportunities and Sales Pipeline. That class will actually walk you through creating an opportunity, aka transaction, in your command, and then walk you through all the basics about it and how to get from point A to point B, how to go from getting that contact's information to actually getting to the closing table, what all needs to be done within your command for a transaction, including getting things turned into your market center for compliance. For today's class with DocuSign, I'm going to walk you through that platform again, showing you the basics, how to get your forms, how to edit them, how to send them out for signature. I'll also show you once you get those forms back how to get them turned into your market center for compliance as well. So we'll cover all that ground today. Again, if you're here with me live and you have any questions at all, go ahead and drop those in the chat. If it's a quick answer, I'll try to get it answered for you in real time as we're moving along. If it's a little more complicated or I need to ask you some follow-up questions, then I'll save it for after class and I'll stay a few minutes to help get everything answered then. Okay? And if you're watching this back on recording, you can always reach out to us via email. Our email is support@scottleroymarketing.com. We'll be happy to help. And for everybody that just joined us, I'm going to drop the links in the chat one more time for you guys. I say one more time. I'm going to do it a lot during the class. So there you go. Robert, logging in just to our website, the scottleroymarketing.com. If it prompts you to log in, it would be your market center number. So just whatever your market center number is, you can just put the digits and it should allow you to see all the goodies there. All right. So for DocuSign again, first thing, you need to make sure your DocuSign is connected to your command. You'll want to do that before you ever create your opportunity. So I'm going to show you that in your settings really quick just to get us started. Over here on the top right, when you're in command, you'll just click on your name and then go down to settings. So this brings us to our integrations page. You'll see here that any connected apps or applications that you have that are linked to command should show right here in this top section. You can see they all show in a connected status. So what we're looking for is DocuSign. You'll scroll down, and if you do not have DocuSign connected, as you can see, not connected, it should show right here in the digital signature and transaction section. And so if you have a DocuSign account and it was DocuSign, well, it was created before you were at KW, or maybe it's just not a KW DocuSign, it will not be compatible to connect to command. So whether it's a paid account or even their free trial accounts with DocuSign, if it wasn't created originally within this command account, chances are it's not compatible. So if you start hitting any errors or any issues with getting that DocuSign linked to your command, you might want to reach out to us, let us take a look, and we can see if it is an incompatibility issue. Okay. And help give you the next right steps on where to go after that. If you do not have a KW DocuSign account just yet, you can actually create it right here. So let me show you. I'll show you in process of connecting it to command what you would do. You'd click connect. And from right here, if you do not have a KW DocuSign account yet and you want to create one, you would simply make sure that your information is correct in these fields, including your business email right there, and just click send registration email. It will send you an email to your inbox, and you'll need to follow the steps within that email to complete the setup of that account, including creating your password. If you already have a a KW DocuSign account and you just need to get it linked to command. I'm going to close this box so you can again see from scratch where we're starting. Can everybody hear me okay? Sarah's okay. Thank you guys for the feedback. Sarah, let me type since she can't hear. Okay. Thank you guys for giving me just a quick second to make sure she's got it all squared away. Okay. Okay, so am I, do I sound distorted to anyone else? I just need to make sure if this is on my end and see if I can get it corrected for you guys. Okay. Thank you guys again for all of your quick feedback. Thank you. Okay, so we've at least got it isolated. So maybe Sarah going back out and coming back in might help. All right. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Look, sometimes it is my mic. So I just want to make sure. All right. So coming back over here to our screen, if you have a KW DocuSign account and you want to get it linked to command, you already have it. You still click connect. And instead of filling this out, you would click right here where it says log in here. You would enter your email address that you log into that account. Let me throw that over here. And then click log in to DocuSign. From there, it'll open this little window and usually asks you to enter your DocuSign password at this point. There it is. And then you would click log in. Box disappears. You get a green banner saying that it is connected. And now, look, our DocuSign has now populated at the top underneath the connected app section and shows in connected status. This is what you want to see. Okay. So now that DocuSign is linked to our command, now we can go and create an opportunity. So we'll just travel over here to our opportunities tab on the left. It's where the two hands are shaking. And if you're not super familiar with the icons just yet, you can always hover over to get the name or click the red square at the top to pop the names out. And you can always click on that red square again to make it go away. And now that you're here, you can create an opportunity in the top right. Fill out this form and click create, and that will help you create an opportunity. Again, our class opportunities and sales pipeline will walk you step by step on how to do that exactly. For today's purposes, I'm just going to jump into one of our already created opportunities. And we have this open on another tab here. So we're in our opportunity. How do we get to DocuSign from here? I'm going to show you. You will want to make sure the very first time that you begin gathering documents for a particular transaction, go through your opportunity first. It is important and it is vital to make sure that your opportunity is properly linked to the DocuSign room. A DocuSign room is just think about a digital file folder. It's just the space in DocuSign where all the documents for that one transaction will be housed. Again, it's called a DocuSign room. So to make sure that your opportunity is properly linked to that specific DocuSign room, you will want to go through your command opportunity to get to your DocuSign account the first time for every opportunity. Okay? After you do it the first time and you're on the go and you need to just get to some documents, you 100% can sign into DocuSign directly. You can even use the DocuSign mobile app. However, I'm going to say it again because it's so important. If it's your very first time needing to create your DocuSign room for a particular transaction, go through your opportunity first. And this is how you do it. You go into your opportunity. So we have our opportunity open here. You go to your Documents tab. From here, You may need to select a checklist on the left-hand side. Now, ours is automatically selected, but see where I click on residential? There's different checklists. These are compliance checklists created by your market center. So each one will look different. Everybody that's looking at my screen, don't worry, it'll look different on yours. I promise, because your market center will have their own compliance checklist that they put up here. Some agents may not have any options when you see this. It may automatically just select residential for you, and good. It'll be one less step you have to do. But you would want to check or select which item closely resembles your type of transaction. So if it's land or if it's commercial or if it's residential, just choose from the drop-down list. Once it's chosen, you should see this over here on the right-hand side. You'll see documents listed. These are all the documents that your market center has specifically required or suggested for the type of transaction that you're doing. So you'll see the document name, and these are even clickable, guys, in most cases, where you can click it and view a sample of what that document looks like. On the left, you'll see if it's a required form, conditional, and in some cases, you see a yellow tab that says optional. In this case, we don't have one, but it will let you know if you need them. We're going to circle back to this area towards the end of class because this is where you would come to submit the forms to your market center for compliance. But for right now, it's just a helpful way to look at the forms that you will need once you jump into your DocuSign room. Over here on the left, you'll also see the tab listed. These are the forms to do when you're listing. Next, forms update to show you which ones you'll need for under contract. And then closed, you'll see the forms for that. We'll just start here in our listed. And now that we've chosen our checklist, to make a DocuSign room, you should have a button right over here. And your very first time, it will say Start a Transaction. You'll want to click that Start a Transaction button, and that will open DocuSign in a new tab with a brand new room for you. After you do that initial Start a Transaction, it will then say just go to transaction. It's a way that indicates to you that, hey, I've already created a DocuSign room. Clicking on that button and having it create your DocuSign room is what helps it link properly to your opportunity. You'll see the benefit of this in just a couple of minutes when we start editing our forms. It will help populate information on the form for you automatically so you don't have to fill everything out. It will also allow you to upload forms, well, add forms automatically to your opportunity without having to manually download from DocuSign and manually upload into the opportunity. Since they're synced, it's really easy. So I'll show you those benefits as we go along. For now, this is what a DocuSign room looks like. Notice the tabs across the top. You have your own dashboard in DocuSign. I'll click that just to show it to you really quick. Kind of similar to what a command dashboard would be like, right? You have some quick links here just to jump right to different DocuSign rooms that you have. They should correlate exactly with the type of opportunities that you have in your command. And just a different visual way of looking at them, you'll have your new rooms listed here and some signing activity underneath that. So this is just a dashboard. Chances are you won't use this a whole lot, but it's here. And now I'm going to go back to our Rooms tab. And all your rooms will be listed right here. You'll just click into one when you want to go to it. I'm actually going to go back to our dashboard to make sure I go right into that opportunity room, DocuSign room that we just created. So here we are inside of our DocuSign room, and this is what it will look like when you very first create it. Depending on your settings from your Market Center, you may also have some documents that automatically populate in this room for you as a shortcut to help you out. Alexis, I see that comment. If you could give me more details or a screenshot, and send that to our email address, we can definitely help you troubleshoot that if you're not being able to access your DocuSign. Let me make sure our email's in that link for you. There you go. Sure thing. We can definitely look at that for you. So now that you're in your DocuSign, since it's our very first time being in here, you'll want to make sure you have access to your forms. Again, this should be just something you do your very first time coming into your DocuSign. You won't have to do it every time, but I do want to pause right here just to make sure that you know where to check to make sure that you have full access to your forms. What I'm fixing to show you will apply to the majority of agents. There are some areas that get their forms from a different platform and have a little bit of a different workflow, specifically like our California agents and our Canadian agents. You may want to speak with your Market Center staff. It's my understanding that you would go to your association to get your forms directly, and then you may use a platform like Zip Forms or DocuSign to add the signatures. The part that I'm fixing to show you again will apply to the majority of you, though. The way to make sure that your forms are integrated into DocuSign is go to your name or your initials in the top right and come down to Preferences. From here, you would go to Integrations on the left. And this is where you can integrate your forms into DocuSign. Again, this is just making sure that you have access to all of your forms. Right here, where it says Providers, if you don't see anything listed underneath this section, we definitely need to get some added for you. And this is how you do it. You just click Add Provider. There's two different times that you need to do this. The first is for your company forms. Those are your Market Center forms that they're providing to you. This little line down here at the very bottom says continue to company forms without validation. If that is a hyperlink for you, if it's blue and a hyperlink, go ahead and click that. What it's doing is integrating your Market Center forms into your DocuSign account for you. Once you click it, it should bring you back to this page and you should see company forms listed right here. That's what you want to see. That's the item number one when you're integrating. Now you have access to your Market Center forms and possibly other folders that they may be providing to you of forms. Next step, step number 2, is you'll want to click Add Provider again and choose the Realtor Association that closely applies to you. Most agents will choose just the Realtor one right here. And what we're doing is getting access or integrating your board forms or your state forms. Daniel, we can see or have the DocuSign from. I think I might be reading your question wrong, Daniel. Oh, are you saying you have DocuSign through your MLS? I'm not sure if I can give you the exact difference of what it would be with a KW DocuSign account versus what you have with your MLS. As I go along, I'll try to think of some of those benefits for you, Daniel. First thing right off the top of my head is that it's going to be compatible with Command so that it will automatically sync data for you, like pre-filling the forms and allowing you to upload forms without manually having to do it. And also giving you access to your Market Center forms. I'm not sure you're going to get your Market Center forms if you use a DocuSign account that was created by your MLS. One more I can think of off the top of my head, Daniel, is that the DocuSign for KW is a DocuSign Rooms account, whereas a lot of other DocuSign accounts that are provided may be an e-signature DocuSign account, not a Rooms DocuSign account, and that can make a big difference too. Yes, Artine, you want to set up your DocuSign before you start having your opportunities. And you can absolutely create yourself a sample opportunity too. That would help just in training and learning the flow. So again, right here, what we want to do is integrate your MLS or your board forms into your DocuSign account. I'll click Realtor just as a sample, but pretty much every option you choose will show you a form similar to this. You'll want to put your NERDS ID number, also known as your M1, right here in the first field. If you're unsure about what that number is, you can find your member ID by clicking this link right here and entering a little bit of information about yourself, and it will tell you what your NERDS number is. NERDS is just your National Association of Realtors number. Okay. And so you would put in, yeah, Isabella absolutely can back up just a step. I know I paused for questions, so let me just start from fresh here. We added our company forms. We integrated our market center we integrated our market center forms. There we go. And now we want to integrate our MLS or our board forms. And you would just click Add Provider, choose your Realtor Association. We'll just choose the Realtor one. You would enter your NERDS number, your NRDS or M1 number. If you're not sure what that is, you can look it up by Find Your Member ID right here. Enter your last name exactly as it appears on your state license. And then you would find your association from the drop-down menu. Once you enter those three fields, click Validate. Once you click Validate, if it worked, it'll bring you back to this page. And right above company forms, you will see your MLS being listed here as providing you with forms. If your office uses zip forms, you can also integrate that up here. Again, this will not be for most cases. In most cases, you'll just want to make sure you have your company forms and your NRDS forms. But in the case that you might use zip forms, you can always click this arrow here, enter your zip form username and password, and it will also integrate your zip forms into your DocuSign. And that's the main way to get your forms integrated into DocuSign. Again, you do not have to check this every time. This is only your first time in your DocuSign account. Just make sure that your integrations are set up. If we work with your office and you're not seeing, or maybe you're seeing something different on your end than what I'm showing on my screen, you can always reach out to us. We'll be happy to jump in and check on that for you. So let's travel back to our DocuSign room. We're going to go back to, I'll just go to our dashboard and click into our DocuSign room. And Documents tab. Okay, so now that we have our DocuSign room created, I want to show you how to make sure your details are properly filled out so that it will help populate on your forms. Rochelle, ZipForm is just another platform where you can access forms and fill them out. Some MLSs use ZipForms instead of DocuSign. So it's just another platform. And so it's important to have your details updated on your opportunity and within your DocuSign. You're welcome. So that they'll populate on your forms correctly. So I'm just going to travel back to our opportunities really quick and point out the Details tab in your opportunity. At any point and throughout your transaction, you'll just want to make sure you come to your Details tab and update any information concerning this transaction. For instance, this is a listing opportunity, and you can see the option to list or pick a listing right here and have it linked to your opportunity. This will help populate data about that about that listing, like the listing address. See over here on the right, it has a property field. Any information you add here will help populate on your forms in DocuSign. So you can come up here to the top and select the listing. If you don't see any listings right here, it's okay. Just adjust it to view all listings. And then you can search by the street name or the MLS number. MLS number is probably going to help you out a little easier. And then just search for it. You can also adjust the status as well, just to see all active. And once you find your listing, you can just click select and then click off of it. Now, this is for a different market center. That's just for an example. But what you would do is choose that select button and then click away from this window. And that listing would now populate up here at the top. And it would automatically populate property information right here in this field. For a buyer opportunity, you can just go and click the edit pencil and add in the address manually. So for today, I'm just going to go ahead and do Main Street, USA. So let's pick somewhere. It automatically fills in the other fields for you, and you choose the property type, residential, resale, and then click save. So I'm just demonstrating what happens when you update the details tab in your opportunity. Now we can see our property is listed here. You'll also notice your contact's name is showing over here as well. Their data will also populate in your DocuSign forms for you automatically since it is here on your details tab. At any point, you can choose to sync your transaction, which will push information from your details tab over to our DocuSign room. So we'll just go ahead and sync. Gives you a green banner saying it is synced. And now I can go back to my Documents tab in my DocuSign room. I'm going to refresh my browser just because it's good practice, especially when you're updating. And now I can come right here to my Details tab. You can already see it though. See the address now updated on our on our DocuSign room. I'll come to the Details tab in our DocuSign room. There's a lot more fields on the DocuSign Details tab than what's in your opportunities. So you can come here and directly update this as well if you would like. I just always recommend doing it in the order of opportunity first and then your DocuSign Details tab second. It just helps with the flow. And so from here, scroll down a little bit, you'll notice contacts are on the right-hand side. So you'll see seller 1, seller 2, buyer 1, buyer 2 on the right. And on the left is more of your location information and the financial information. Like you can see here for location, our address did feed over correctly. Listing details, offer details, and so on. So all of these fields do not need to be filled out. You can just come in and fill in the information one time on the details page if you would like it to then populate on the forms that you're going to be filling out. It will help save you steps in the long run. You edit this tab by clicking the edit pencil, and that will allow you to fill in information in these fields. Let's go back to our Documents tab. And now that we know our details are up to date on our opportunity and our DocuSign, and we know that our forms are integrated correctly into our DocuSign account, now let's talk about how to actually access the forms and find them, okay? Is it correct? Is this the same as going to DocuSign.com website? You can go to DocuSign.com. Rooms.DocuSign.com will also work. But yeah, if you ever need to sign directly into DocuSign, you can do that. It saves you some steps if you're already in your command opportunity just to click go to transaction. And so from here on Documents tab, I'll show you the several ways that you can add forms into your DocuSign room. And then once we get our forms here, I'll show you how to edit them and send them for signature. But let's get them into our DocuSign room here so that we can start working with them. The first would be to choose the Add button over here in the top right. You'll see several options like adding directly from your device will let you upload a form. DocuSign Forms, these are the ones that you just integrated. These are going to be your Market Center forms and your board forms. So let's go ahead and click that. On your left, you'll see packets. Think of these as file folders. Your Market Center or your board may have created some of these for you. I'm going to choose Show More. Sorry, we have a lot on this demo account, but let me get to some good examples like residential buyer, residential listing. So the packets help you find the forms for specific types of transactions. Let me minimize the forms or the packets. Just a second. Show less. Okay, there we go. So that's what packets are at the top. Libraries at the bottom. These are your entire folder of all the forms, not broken down by transaction type. So you should see, like your association should have a library here, and your market center should also have a library here. I'll just click Show More. This is what an association library may look like with their initials and then their full name. If I scroll down, your Market Center library will look something like this. It'll have a KW and then your Market Center number afterwards. Something very similar to this so that you know which library you're looking at. So if you want to look at the whole library to find a form, you would just click on the library and the forms that they have available in that library will show on the right. You can preview the form. And don't worry, there is a watermark on the preview, but it won't be there once you add it to your room. Once you're done previewing, just X out. And then you can also search by name. If you know the name of the document or just a piece of it, you can always put that in the search bar to help you locate the forms as well. Once you find the forms that you want, you just check the box beside them. Notice this tab shows that we have one selected. But let's say you need to go somewhere else and get another form. You can always go to a different library and choose one or more of theirs. And if we scroll all the way back up and go into our packets, we can also continue going to other packets, going into other libraries, and just gathering the forms that you need. Select whatever you need. If you forget which ones you've already selected, you can always come over to your selected tab and it will show you what you've already gathered. If you have some here that you don't want, you can always uncheck them and remove them. I'm going to come back to our browse and I'm going to find a listing agreement because those usually have some good blanks on them for me to show you how to fill out. So give me just a second here. Just find one with some blanks. It's got a couple. New listing forms. Not finding them. 2 seconds. This is another good way. Whenever you're looking for your form again, just use your search button and you can come down through your libraries and select through them to find the form that you're looking for. And if there's a form within that library or packet, it will show it to you. So we'll just go ahead and grab our little guy there. And now when you're done selecting forms, just click Add Selected. This will populate the forms into your room for you. This is what a form will look like. Gives you a little blurb about the name. Let me finish showing you the ways to add forms to your DocuSign room, and then I'll explain a little more about all the little symbols on the forms. So I've shown you with the Add button. and your DocuSign forms to get to your MLS and your Market Center forms. Also, computers here if you want to upload from your device. And you do have zip forms and a few other options if you do link those things to your DocuSign account, like your Google Drive. You can easily pull in forms from that. Another way is to drag and drop a form into your DocuSign room. So like we have a PDF here, I can just drag and drop right into the room. And lastly, you have an inbox for your DocuSign account. I'm going to click over there and show you this. This is a unique email address to you. You can save that as a contact in your contacts, like on your phone or your desktop or Google Contacts, whichever you prefer. And you can forward documents directly into your DocuSign account, again, saving you time from having to juggle from device or to device or having to upload it on your Google Drive and then add it into your room. When you receive an email, let's say from another agent that has forms in it that you need to send to your clients, just forward them right here into your DocuSign account to save yourself some steps. Once you forward an email to this email address right here, they will appear within this inbox, and then you get to decide which room they go into, saving you some steps. We'll go over here to your rooms tab again. Let's get back into our room. I'm going to do it from the dashboard. There we go. So I don't have to hunt and peck through all the different rooms. And so from right here, again, on our Documents tab, we just went over the ways to add forms into your DocuSign room. Now that they're here, how do you edit them? How do you make changes and update the information, fill in all the blanks? A couple of different ways. I need to point out to you this little emblem right here. See how it's blue and says the word form? Each form we pulled from DocuSign Forms will have this little blue emblem and it says form on it. These forms will already have the fields populated on it for you so that you don't have to constantly add a text field, an initial field, a radio button. You don't have to do that on these. The forms already have that pre-populated on it for you. To edit that type of form that you pulled in from DocuSign Forms, you simply click on the form itself to make changes. So we'll go ahead and grab our buyer broker here by clicking on it. It will open the form for you. Notice it did populate from our details tab. It already put in the address for us, saving us some time. And now you can simply click on the fields and begin entering data. So you can click on anything, check the boxes, fill out whatever you need to. As I scroll down through, I want to show you the signatures. Notice there's no signature here yet. They're there, you just can't see them. Once you start sending this document out to your clients to get signatures, those signature fields will populate automatically for you as long as it's one of these blue forms from your DocuSign forms. So don't worry that it's not sitting there. You don't have to worry about adding it. It will populate once you get it to where you're fixing to send it to the client. And I'll show you that in a second. So you would simply go through and just add in whatever information you need to add. And once you're done, click Save and Close. It will save that information on that form for you. And then you would just move to your next document and do the same. Now, this little guy that I happen to drag and drop from our device, notice it's a red PDF. That might be a little hard to see on your screen, but it's a red PDF. This means that the fields are not populated on the form. I'll click on it to show you. There will be no fields on it. It's a flat PDF. You'll need to edit this form Once you create your envelope is how you send the forms to your clients for signatures, and that will be the next thing I'm fixing to show you how to do. But you will edit your flat PDFs differently because there's no fields to fill in yet. You will manually add those in. Caesar, a flat PDF is just, it's a PDF that doesn't have fields on it already. You'll need to add the fields, add the text fields, add the radio buttons, add the signature fields, things like that. Whereas the blue forms right here, your DocuSign forms, they already have those fields on it. Um, these forms would be like a template, Caesar, but when it's a form that you have, not even a form, when it's a document that you've uploaded directly from a device or even emailed into your DocuSign account, it's just a document. It doesn't have any fields added onto it yet. There's no place to initial, there's no place to sign. Does that make sense? Let me know if I need a little more. Okay. All right. Want to make sure we're clear. So now that we have edited our blue forms, you've added in all the information you need in your fields, and you're ready to start sending this to your clients to get signatures. You would do that by checking the box beside the forms that you want to use. I'm going to choose these two. So we'll grab one of our DocuSign forms and one of our PDFs that we uploaded. Notice that our menu now appears right here in the middle of our screen. I'm going to pause here and show you a couple of things that you'll have access to that you may need, like you can make copies of forms. You can also print your forms. You can download them onto your device. You can archive, and you can also delete. Just remember, delete, there's no undo button. So if you think there's any chance that you might need it again, just choose archive instead. So there's just some quick click menu items there to do some routine things that you may need. To create the envelope is what you do again, to send it to your contacts to get the actual signatures. You'll click the pen right here. This is how to create an envelope. So we'll click Create Envelope. It asks you which people, who are you sending this to? Because it would like to auto-populate some of the information for you. So it has a buyer's agreement, so it's asking us if we're going to send it to any of these people. We'll just go ahead and say buyer one. It will be sent to, and we'll go ahead and send it to the buyer agent. Let's pretend we're not in a listing opportunity. And we'll click continue. It may take it a second again. It's auto-populating some things on the forms for you at this point. It doesn't normally take this long. There we go. All right. So this is what an envelope looks like, guys, when you're working in it. At the top, we have our document section. It shows you a little preview of the documents that you've added. If at any point you realize, oh, I didn't grab something I need or I need to add another document, you do have the option right here to add more. If you've decided that you no longer need one of these forms, an X will populate on the right-hand side when you hover over it that you can choose to remove it from this envelope. It will still be in your DocuSign room. You didn't delete it. You're just removing it from this envelope. You can also drag and drop them in a different order if you want them to be. Once you have your documents just as you would like them, you can scroll down and begin adding your recipients. Who are you sending this to? Now, we selected buyer one and buyer agent, so that's what's already populated here, but you can always have this changed or add more. You would just want to put in their name. And their email. And you'll notice it does try to auto-populate the information for you. So you can choose from the drop down, and there's also an address book right here as well. Once you have their details added, if they don't automatically populate for you, again, if it's in the details tab of your opportunities and the details of your DocuSign room, it will auto-populate that. But we had not entered any buyer information, and so the buyer's information didn't automatically populate. Over here, you'll choose what action they're going to take. You have a lot to choose from. Some of the most popular are needs to sign, but then also maybe they just need to receive a copy once it's signed. I particularly like needs to view. This not only notifies you that they've received a copy, but they actually have to open the document and view it, and you get a timestamp of when that happened. So this is very imperative in a lot of transactions when you need to know that the other party was informed and received the fully executed document or what have you. This might be a great option to use when they need to view. Once you have the action set up, pay attention to what order they're in. If you want this to go to everybody at the same time, you can toggle off the signing order, and that means this envelope will go to all the parties at the same time. If you need it to go in a specific order, you can set a signing order and choose one, and then it would go to two when one is done. And you can drag and drop them in a different order as well. Just make sure that your numbers update. You might have to manually adjust those when you drag and drop. But here we see that the buyer agent would get it first, and then the buyer would get it second. If the buyer's agent's you and you need to sign first, you would want it to be in this signing order. That way, when you're done signing your piece, it will go to your client. Coming on down. Caesar, you'll definitely want to email us about that. We'll check on that for you. Um, we can see what's causing that in your account for you and get that corrected. Not an uncommon error, but it does need to be fixed. Add message is the third section in your envelope. This is where you get to adjust. You're welcome. You get to adjust your subject and the message that goes out to your contacts that you're sending this to. You can use the same subject line and the same message for everybody if you want, or you can click custom and it will allow you to choose the language, subject, and message that goes to each person. So to the buyer's agent, you would fill this one out, and to the buyer itself, you would fill this out. So you choose whichever you would like. Go ahead and enter your subject line, enter your email message, and once you're ready, then you would click next. This is where you get to preview your forms. So here, what you have in the center of your screen are the forms, the documents that you selected to send in this envelope. On the left-hand side, kind of like your building blocks, this is where you can add fields, signatures, all the things. You also choose who you're adding them for at the top left. So if we want to look at the fields that the buyer's agent needs to tend to, we can have the buyer's agent selected in the top left, and notice they are color coded. So the next person would be in blue. As we're moving through these documents here, notice that text shows up. That just is an indicator to you that that field currently doesn't have any data in it at all. The text will not show on the final document. It's just an indicator to you that you might want to click on that and fill it in. You can make any last minute changes here if you would like. So you can go ahead and click on these fields and adjust them and click off when you're done, and it will keep the text for you. And now let's scroll down to the signatures. See how they now appear? And again, the color coding. So in yellow, it's for our buyer's agent, but our buyer is in blue. So you can tell the difference. This is what it looks like for a DocuSign form that already has the fields on it, and the signatures will automatically populate for you. The PDF that we uploaded, and it has no fields, no radio buttons, no signature lines. This is where you would need to manually add them. This is where you edit those PDF forms or just a plain document. You would literally just drag and drop text, put it over here, double click to begin typing. When you're done, click away, and you can resize these if you need to. And then you would grab a signature. Maybe you want it time stamped, so date signed. And maybe the buyer needs to sign this document too, so you can swap over to the buyer. Now everything's in blue, and just drag their signature over with their timestamp. And you would make adjustments from there. One thing that is a biggie are check boxes or even the radio buttons. You can put them here, and notice over here on the right-hand side when I select that checkbox, up at the top, I have an option for read only. If I do not want this client to touch that box, I just need it to be selected or unselected, I can make it read only to where they can't make any changes to that checkbox. But if I need them to fill it out, I can leave it like it is. And I can even make like the radio buttons a required field, which means they have to check this in order for it to be considered signed and completed. So you have some options there to make fields required or read only. So just pay attention to that right-hand side when you're adding them. And when you're done making changes to these forms, there's a neat little preview option up here at the top right that you can click preview, and it will allow you to see the forms based on that particular person's view. Like for our buyer up here at the top left, remember his fields are in blue. So he gets to see the text that's been entered, but all the other fields, remember where it had the text boxes, those don't show. So it looks a little cleaner. You can scroll down to the signatures. He can't see where everybody else has to sign. He'll only see where he needs to sign, and he'll be able to click that to add his signature. On the PDF as well, he won't see where the other people need to sign or there are other fields they need to tend to. He only sees what he needs to see. If you flip it back over to the other person, now you'll see what they see when they receive the documents. Let's just travel down to the signature to show you. Now you see they see all the fields in yellow, but not the other fields in blue. Once you're done previewing, you can hit the X at the top. And now you have a few options to send it to them. You can click send in the bottom right-hand corner and go ahead and send it immediately, or choose the arrow and choose to send later, and you can schedule it. You also have an actions button at the top that will allow you to save and close, and just save this if you need to visit it later. You can discard too. We'll go ahead and save and close. But in your case, let's say you send it. The envelope has been sent. You're waiting on people to sign. You can always come right here to your DocuSign room and click on envelopes in this room and view the status of your envelope. It will say sent, waiting, whatever status it's in. You can even click on the name of the envelope and it'll show you exactly where it is. Like if Joe Bob has received it and they viewed it, but you're still waiting on signatures, you'll be able to tell whose inbox it's in and what you're waiting on. It's pretty handy. Once they've completely signed the documents, they will appear in your Documents tab, look exactly like they did before, but this time, instead of the blue form little ditty right here, you'll actually have an icon that says signed, so that you'll be able to tell your signed documents from your unsigned documents. Now you will want to make sure they're submitted to your Market Center for compliance. Let's go back to our Opportunities tab here for our last couple of minutes. And once we're in our opportunity, you'll click on your Documents tab. And remember our forms down here that the Market Center either requires or is conditional? You can simply add them by choosing those signed documents from the drop-down menu. You'll choose your document from the drop-down. It'll let you know it's been successfully uploaded. Now this document says uploaded in the status, and you can come here and remove or print it if you need to make changes. Maybe you added the wrong one or you have a new one. You can also upload these forms directly from your device if you need to, like maybe you didn't sync your opportunity in your DocuSign Room correctly, so you're not seeing the option to automatically add your DocuSign forms. Then you can choose your computer and you can manually add forms by choosing to browse your device, or like we did before, you can just drag and drop into that field. It'll take it just a second and then it'll add that form for you. Once you've added all of your forms over here on the right that you need for this transaction, so all the required forms are in uploaded status, and any conditional or optional ones, you've uploaded those as well. When you're ready, you just click Submit to MC. This sends it to your Market Center. They'll review it for compliance. They'll either send you a note back, they'll approve it, they'll reject it. Whatever they do, you'll get a notification bell right here in your command. And you should also be getting email notifications as well nowadays. But you'll get a notification letting you know where you are in that compliance process. And you'll do this for every single one. So when you're listed, when you go under contract, and once you're closed, you'll just come back here and add those documents and submit to your MC. And that's it, guys. That's the end of our DocuSign 101 class. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. But if you're here with me live and you have any questions at all, go ahead and drop those in the chat. I'll be happy to get them answered for you. If you're watching this back on recording, you can definitely reach out to us via email. We'll be happy to help. That email is support@scottleroymarketing.com. Thanks for watching.